Francisco. Warriors have not led in this series. Boston won games 1 and 3. We're here at 5. See if that odd numbering continues. Robert Williams pass broken up. Look at Draymond Green. He has not had the best of series, but he's giving maximum effort. He's in there meeting people, socializing, apologizing. There you go. We're all good. Green, high fives. How about a little offense from Draymond Green? I'll take it right there. Fakes the handoff. Slams it down. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. They're up 11 after 1. Warriors 20-0 in the playoffs under Steve Kerr when leading by 10 or more after the first 12 minutes. We'll see if one of these stats will hold up. Andrew Wiggins got that to go. The members bounce and the fouls. 37-26 after that free throw. Steph Curry. He's going to try and make that little shot. That's tough. It goes down. The twos were good. The threes were troubling. Late second, Celtics down 9. Jaylen Brown's pass picked off. Gary Payton up to Curry. Wiggins trailing. Glides through. Lovely finish there. Wiggins 16 points, a playoff career high for a single half. We've got more. Curry gets to the window, gets it to drop. Warriors led 51-39 at the half. Curry, athletic, bounces back up off the hardwood. Third quarter, though, the Celtics are going to come out and play hot. Jason Tatum uses the screen by Marcus Smart, hits that one. That's just what glue guys do. Brown, Tatum again. They got the first 10 of the second half. They're down 2. Timeouts were taken. We're tied at 55. Al Horford wide open, and the C's have their first lead of the game at 58-55. Meanwhile, Curry from behind the arc. Well, he's no Al Horford. Snapped a streak of 233 straight regular or postseason games with a made three. He was 0 for 9. His first playoff game without a made three-pointer. Luckily, they employ other dudes. Curry pulls up for 3. Blocked from behind. Robert Williams down to Grant Williams. And eventually we get a foul on Looney. Celtics are up 5 after the free throw. Shot clock, game clock die, and there's our man, Jordan Poole, knocking it down. Another buzzer beater to end the quarter as he did in game 2. Oh, yeah, that's out of the hand in plenty of time. You got a whole 1/10 of a second there. And so the Warriors, despite giving back most of the lead, still are up 1 at the end of third. Into the final quarter, Warriors have pushed their lead, their advantage to 5. Marcus Smart feels like maybe got a little shoulder. Klay Thompson, I'm going to call him Klay, I'm going to call him Klay, knocks that one down. Smart wanted the foul. Really, both sides did a lot of carping in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Klay's all pumped up. His team's up 8. Now we're just turning it over. It's Wiggins time. Up, under, got that to go again. I believe they call that slicing through the defense. Wiggins. Little jump hook, pushes it in. It's nice. You remember what Lightning Hopkins said? Give me back my wig, baby. Let your head go bald. As he comes through, and he's all up in there with 2 hands to finish with authority. 26 points, 13 boards, 10 in the fourth quarter. The Warriors win game 5, 104-94. Hold a 3-2 series lead. Winners talk first.
You want to be on this stage. As a competitor, this is what you work for. To get to this stage and try to play your best, take home a championship. We're 1 win away, but it's going to be the toughest win yet, and we understand that. So we got to go in with our hard hats, expect everything, expect them to come out punching, and be ready to take that punch and respond.
We're one game closer, but we still got another 48 to go out there and play. Stay locked in, stay extremely focused, and look at our adjustments and find ways to get better. Got to go get a big one on the road, and we feel as if we're fully capable of that, but you know, the job's not done, obviously, and we got one more big one to win.
We have a chance. We got two cracks at getting 1 win, but we also know how difficult it's going to be. So nobody's celebrating, but we're excited to be in this spot, and we want to take advantage of it.
Wow, just going to be. I've never been so excited to go to Boston. I'll tell you that.
All right, we go by the numbers in game 5. 26 points. Andrew Wiggins, second most points in the game in the last 5 months. 24 of the 26 came in the half-court offense. Also the first time Wiggins led the Warriors in scoring during the postseason, because that's usually Steph Clay's job. 1 of 10, 10%. That's what the Celtics shot in game 5 when Draymond Green contested a shot. Jaylen Brown, 1 of 6. when Dre was covering him up. He did become the first player to foul out 3 times in the finals in more than 20 years, but that is a bit beside the point because he had the 8 points and the 8 rebounds and the 6 assists. Somehow, some way, the Warriors got a much-needed win despite Steph 0 for 9. First game in Curry's playoff career, as we said, without a three-pointer, and snapped the NBA record streak of games with a three-pointer. Playoffs regular season at 233. As for the second-place team in Game 5, Celtics, they had been resilient. It's the first time all season they've lost back-to-back games. Zubin noted at the very top they had won 7 straight after loss. That tied the NBA record for a single postseason. Not quite the Tampa Bay Lightning, but still very good by them. But now they got to win Thursday when they go back home to Boston.
For us, it's really about consistency, and that's the thing we're not having throughout a full game. It's a consistent effort, sustained effort, more so offensively than anything. And so that's the part where we got to have carryover from quarter to not only game to game, but even quarter to quarter, like we saw in the third, and then it doesn't happen in the fourth. So obviously we're all frustrated with tonight a little bit, but even prior, quarters and games, and so. Our message is take it one at a time. We've been here before and did it against Milwaukee, and let's bring it back out to the Bay.
Now our backs are against the wall, and we have to see what we're made of. And the challenge starts back home on Thursday.
All season long, it's kind of been like us versus everybody. So I look at it as no different from now. My faith is higher than it's ever been before. So I'm looking forward to Game 6.
We got to be better. We hard to beat when we don't turn the ball over, and clearly we're easy to beat when we do turn the ball over. We ain't got to win 2 in one day. We just got to win 1 game on Thursday. And we've been in this situation before. So, it's not over. We just got to win on Thursday, and that's all we got to worry about right now.
All right, SportsCenter's on the road, presented by Rocket Mortgage, with both teams hitting the road for Boston and a possible closeout. Our Jalen Rose is with us. All right, Jalen, the last time we were in Boston, the epic performance from Curry, but on Monday night, the supporting cast really showed up the way it didn't the other night. What did you see from Dubs other than Curry?
This is a classic example, Zubin, of your star players leading you on the road the way Steph Curry did in the previous game when he had 43 big points, had 10 boards, and made 7 threes. And then when you return home, it's the difference between getting a pat on the back and a kick in the butt. When you're at home, you're feeling more good about your game as a role player. Then all of a sudden, Wiggins is slashing. Do you realize this is the first time all year that he led the Warriors in points and rebounds in the same basketball game? How about Draymond Green? He came out scoring the ball. I believe he had 8 points in the first half. I believe he probably had 8 points the entire series. I'm being sarcastic. He had as many points as he had fouls. The point is he came out and played with force. And when your role players are able to do that, Gary Payton II came in. He had a couple of cuts. He made plays. They did a terrific job, other than Jason Tatum, of keeping the Boston Celtics perimeter oriented, playing through contested shots, getting steals. The Golden State Warriors allowed them to make a run in the third quarter, and you want to give the Boston Celtics credit. But anytime you start the game like Boston and you miss your first 12 threes, and then you make 8 in a row, it's going to be an ebb and a flow. But the Golden State Warriors held on, even though Steph Curry was 0 from the three-point line.
It's incredible. You mentioned that 10-0 run to start the third for Boston. It felt like the momentum was shifting, and then the fourth happened. The momentum shifted again, and the box score will go down as 29-20 Golden State, but it didn't seem nearly that close. What happened to Boston in the fourth quarter?
Boston has to do a better job of moving the ball, cutting off the ball, screening. And Jason Tatum, their go-to guy in particular, has to play stronger on drives to the basket. Jaylen Brown, he has to not turn the ball over and be under control when he gets in traffic. And then your shooters, when you kick the ball out, have to knock down shots. It was good to see Marcus Smart crawl up around 20 points for them offensively. But their bigs, Al Horford, fairly pedestrian. Robert Williams III wasn't scoring much, wasn't able to be much of a lob threat, wasn't getting his points off of offensive rebounds. And again, I attribute that to the toughness up front. Draymond Green, Looney playing well. So many Golden State Warriors gave effort defensively and played with force and had the Boston Celtics on their heels the entire night.
For the Celtics, there's only one way to win this series. Boston in 7, but ask the Bucks and the Heat. They're certainly capable of making that happen. That's Jalen Rose at the Chase Center, where the Dubs are oh so close to chasing down another NBA title. Jalen, thanks.
Appreciate the love.
And this is the point in the program where we discuss matters of interest with Stephen A. Smith concerning NBA Finals Game 5. And Stephen A., let's talk about Andrew Wiggins. This is a guy who Cleveland kind of didn't have room for and maybe wasn't quite ready in Minnesota. He's shown tonight what you thought of his game.
Well, I thought he played the best game that I've seen him play in his career. He had 26 points, 13 rebounds. We all saw that Steph Curry was struggling in a very uncharacteristic way, shooting 0 of 9 from three-point range in this particular game, looking somewhat exhausted from his performance in Game 4. But the bottom line is Andrew Wiggins played a significant role in picking up the weight. He shot 12 of 23 from the field, had 13 rebounds, accepted the assignment of trying to defend against Jason Tatum, and did an absolutely stellar job when it really, really counted most, which was in the fourth quarter when Jason Tatum shot 1 of 5 from the field and finished with 5 points in the fourth quarter. So you got to give Andrew Wiggins a whole bunch of credit. We all know what he's capable of. We know what he should have done, but he spent a lot of time in his career not living up to expectations. Tonight wasn't one of those nights. He most certainly lived up to expectations tonight, and as a result, the Golden State Warriors are 48 minutes away from capturing an NBA championship.
So they've got 2 shots to win 1 game. I heard you earlier with Scott Van Pelt, and you said you thought the Warriors needed this because you didn't think they could win 2 if they were forced into that situation. We flip it now. What do you think of Boston's chances of putting back-to-back wins together and pulling this out in 7 games?
Well, obviously, I think it's slim because I came into the series predicting that Golden State would win this in 7. Now we know if Golden State's going to win a championship, which I think they will, it definitely could end up going 7, even though they could close it out in 6 Thursday night. But Boston has the intestinal fortitude to push this to a Game 7. Make no mistake about it, even though they're not as great on the road, or at home, rather, than they are at home. You still have Jason Tatum, who's got to find a way to get himself corrected. He's shooting better from 3 than he does from 2. Jaylen Brown got a little bit going, but then again, he started turning the ball over and wasn't as effective as you needed him to be. But some of their role players, and Al Horford and Marcus Smart, there were times during Game 5 when they moved the basketball and gave these guys open shots, and somehow, some way, they were able to drill them. They were able to make them. You just didn't find those opportunities as much as you should have. In the end, when you look at Boston, they're young, they're athletic, they're physical, they're not afraid at all. They're going back to their home turf. They're fresh off of Steph Curry putting on an absolute show. You prepare yourself for that. You capture Game 6, and then you're both on the brink of elimination or on the brink of winning a championship. But you've got to handle your business. They know their backs are against the wall. We've seen their backs against the wall before, and they've responded like a champion, or at least a champion wannabe. This is their latest opportunity to do that Thursday night in Game 6, and I think there's a pretty good chance they'll pull it off.
It is his night before first take. Stephen A. Smith, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Sports Center on the road is presented.
Andrews will be back on the road heading to Boston. All right, Kendra, bottom line here, the Celtics were once up 2-1. Now the Warriors are 1 win away from winning it all. I know you just got out of the locker room and the press conferences with them. What's the vibe with them now that they are on the brink of a title?
Well, they're cautiously optimistic, right? They've been in this position so many times before. A lot of those times they've gotten the job done, but others they haven't. This postseason alone, right? The Warriors have failed at each of their first closeout opportunities in each series thus far. So Steve Kerr says nobody's celebrating just yet, but we like the position that we're in and we're hoping to take advantage of it. Klay Thompson said, yes, of course it feels good, but we haven't accomplished anything yet. The mission remains the same. And Klay admitted, I don't think I've ever been more excited to go out to Boston. As much as they love playing at home and as good as they are at it this postseason, the Warriors would love to close this out in 6 games in the TD Garden.
Think about it. In this run, this Kerr-Curry era of Warriors basketball, 6 finals in 8 years, every time they have won a championship, they have never been stretched to 7 games. They can only hope that luck continues on Thursday night. That's Kendra Andrews with the Dubs.